Yeah, big news for the Jaguars today. We've got Justin and Barney here as the two of us kind of try and work through some of the drama around this team. So, Justin, the first one, the domino dropped early this morning. Doug Pederson, no longer the Jaguars head coach. Shad Khan made the tough decision to move on from him.
Yeah, and glad that they dropped it this morning as opposed to like midnight or 1 o'clock the last time they fired Urban Meyer. So good that they did it this morning and really seen the legs go out of this all day. You knew it was going to happen. I'm just surprised that it only included Doug Pederson and not Trent Baalke too. He survived, but he's going to be leading that new head coaching search.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. So Shad released this statement that you can kind of see on your screen now, and as you read through it, it's a lot of just, we appreciate Doug Pederson for the work he did, until you get to the end where he says Trent Baalke's going to lead the search for the next coach, and you say, oh. There's your sign of confidence, vote of confidence that Trent Baalke is going to be the general manager moving forward. And, you know, this is the one spot where I say I think they missed the mark just a little bit. We talked to Shad Khan and Trent Baalke today earlier, and Shad expressed confidence in Trent and no need for a change in that spot. The one thing that he said was that he felt like the Jaguars were predictable on the offensive and defensive side of the football, which does point the finger to the coaching staff. The problem is maybe they were predictable because of the roster that Trent put together.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I do blame the coaches. I think it's kind of threefold in a sense. You've got injuries. You had a bunch of bad injuries this year to star players. Yeah, there were some coaching issues big time. I mean, you hired Ryan Nielsen. Defense got markedly worse. 32nd ranked pass defense in the league, and I do think the other part is just bad luck. But I do think the big thing in this is roster construction.
Right.
You gave guys big contracts. Trevor Lawrence, Tyson Campbell, Josh Hines Allen, those guys didn't have the best season. And you brought in a free agent class, and not only were they underwhelming, they were expensive and underwhelming. And I think when you look at this roster, it's got Trent Baalke's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think there's a combination of coaching and bad luck and injuries, but this is Trent Baalke's roster. Trent Baalke made this roster, and I don't think he's having to answer for that.
No, he's not. At this point, I know there are a lot of upset fans. I've seen it on social media where fans are saying they're turning in those season tickets because of their frustrations about the way the Jaguars are being run. But one way or another, there's going to be somebody leading the Jaguars next season. Where do you think they go? Look, last time there was a coaching search and Trent Baalke was the general manager, which part of the thing is a lot of coaches like to go in on the same timeline, have the same vision as the general manager. Last time there were reports that there were coaching candidates that took themselves out of the running because they didn't want to work with Trent Baalke. This time, the Jaguars should be one of the most attractive jobs on the market, but with a holdover like Trent, that might change that scenario just a little bit. Who would you have your eye on as the next guy?
Yeah, I mean, you think you got to start with Ben Johnson. He's the head coaching guy. But as you alluded to, I mean, Trent Baalke's contract runs out next year. He's got 1 year left on his contract. So you're going to let this general manager, who you're not giving a contract extension to, hire the next coach. What happens after next year? I mean, it's just not a good situation. And I do think that handicaps Jacksonville a little bit in terms of who they're going to bring in, what candidates they're going to draw. So I think it's a very valid question. Shad Khan did not seem to think that was going to be a detractor from this job, but I tend to feel the opposite.
I would think that Ben Johnson will not end up in Jacksonville with the news from today. My expectation is maybe a guy like a Joe Brady. And I do like Joe Brady. I'm a Joe Brady fan. He's the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. He was also the architect of an LSU national championship team that included Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a long head coaching search. We'll have Frank Frangie in the building here in just a little bit to try and break it all down for Teal, the show that's coming your way tonight at 11:20 right here on Channel 4. Come hang out with us as we try and work through all of the news around this team. That's coming your way tonight right here on Channel 4.